My wife wanted a canopy bed, but it morphed into a climbing wall.
Now, some of you may be thinking, a climbing wall in the master bedroom, that's an absolute non-starter with my significant other, but for this Colorado climbing couple, it's exactly what they wanted. So let's go check out the ins and outs of this home wall.
Come on in, this is my wife Janet. I'm Paul. Come on in and see our home climbing gym. This is our master bedroom. We built the wall in there because it had the vaulted ceilings. It was the most vaulted space in our home. It was the most open and available. As I said earlier, my wife was looking at like a canopy bed, and then she found a climbing wall that was built over a bed, and she thought, wow, our bed can be our crash pad. You know, we can build a climbing wall over. And I thought, what a perfect solution, you know, because why not? Who doesn't like to jump on beds? Right, so that's it. And we have just a basic crash pad we use when we go bouldering here. And I've got some other cushions that I'll put here that you can hop down onto when you're climbing this section of the wall right here. So,
and the type of mattress we got is the kind that can go straight on something. You don't have to have box springs for it.
There's no box.
It's kind of the new beds, you know, that can do this. And so you said you could put it straight on the floor.
One of the favorite things I tell people is every morning I get to climb out of bed. Literally. I didn't want to destroy my home when I built it. I really wanted it to be fitting in this space, but without just punching a bunch of holes and tying into the existing structure of the house. So I designed it to be really completely freestanding. There's only a couple of connection points over here and a couple of eye bolts up there to hold this section of the wall, which it can be vertical or it can be angled down to about 45 degrees, which I really did want to have some kind of overhang. The rest of it is vertical except for the roof section. We're a little older. I'm not trying to push myself or do anything crazy. So this has been fun for us, and adding the volumes has certainly spiced it up a little bit. We kind of went on a crazy volume building craze where I built different shapes, and I've continued to build them. I've added even a couple of volumes in the last month or two. Built them all in my garage. They're not that hard to build. So that's been fun. Got a lot of great ideas off of YouTube. I think on a lot of climbing walls I see online and stuff, I'm always thinking, why aren't they using that edge? Why aren't they using the top? Why aren't they using, you know, this and that? And so on this, I really have tried to take advantage of all of the edges and the rails, even to the point that behind here I have a removable rail, so that can pop off when I want to put the wall up vertically. Obviously, since this is bolted into a 2x6, I had to get the longer bolts for the hole. You know, there's a bunch of holes that I've screwed in up there as well. Really just putting holes everywhere you can. I did fall in love with Atomic Holds early on. They were giving out free samples with each order, and so I got probably a third of my holds for free from Atomic. Unfortunately, when COVID hit, they stopped doing that. So this is exclusively Atomic Holds. There's 583 holds and about 240 square feet of climbing surface, which if you put that in a flat plane is like 10 feet high and 24 feet wide. So it's quite a bit of area to climb on. Some things that I truly like about this wall are, I call them arêtes. They're not, I guess, technically arêtes, but I love being able to grab back here onto holds and climb here. So you're climbing on something, it's the same thing over here. I also love transitions where I can climb up the angled surface and reach out onto this rail at the top here and basically build core strength by moving my feet around on the wall as I transition down the rail.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I like swinging over. I like doing the hands and then swinging my feet over.
Speaking more to the freestanding nature of this wall, obviously I didn't want to build the wall in this room because we live here and this is where we sleep. So I wanted to design it in a way that I could literally build it in sections out in my garage and then bring those sections into the house one at a time and basically build the wall up. So that's what we did. We started with this lower section down here, and then we did that vertical section, built the two back sections, brought this wall out here, that top piece, and then the last piece, and this was kind of a mistake when I first did it, was the roof, because this wall was already here. And so we had to literally lift up a 180-pound section of wall and slot it in on the top without destroying the sheetrock on the roof by having it tip down. In retrospect, what I would have done differently is I would not have put this wall section in. We would have just put the top up there and had it down here, and we would have just hinged it up very nicely and just hinged it right up to the top and then just slipped this wall underneath. That would have been so much easier.
Yeah.
Really, the only changes I had to do to my house, really at all, were a little section down here. I had to pin it to the wall because when you were pushing, this was flexing too much. because of the counter forces coming off of the chains where it anchors to the wall. Something that I was concerned about is, oh my goodness, is 2 little eye bolts gonna hold this wall section? And so what I did was, obviously the further down it is, the more force is on those. And so I have a thing that measures force. And so what I did was I put it at its most inclined state and then hooked the force meter into the system, and I climbed up on the wall and held on to it to see the maximum amount of force, and it's 70 pounds of force on those chains. So almost nothing, literally. There's just no force. All the force is really down into these hinges is where most of the force goes. So that was a big concern that I had that was alleviated immediately. And it's solid, it doesn't move at all. You think it's freestanding that it would wiggle around because it's not anchored, but it doesn't budge one bit. And it's all 2x6 construction on 4x8 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood. I bought 1,100 T-nuts and I've installed about 1,050-ish that are in use.
You can tell my husband likes statistics.
This side of the wall over here, obviously because there's furniture here, it's not really safe. So we turned this into an equipment wall where we can hang our day packs,
ropes.
you know, rings. We have chalk bags over here. All of our climbing ropes are over here, but just great for backpacks and whatever. And it's super adjustable. This is kind of a cool feature of the wall too. You think, well, you can't put a ladder in here to change out holes and stuff. So I built a really easy solution that I can just clip this in here, and I can clip this in here. I can just basically hop up onto this, and I can stand on this rope, and I can access any part of the wall, you know, for taking stuff down or putting it up, and I can just stand right here. Without a support right here going into the wall, this wall can move a little bit. So when you're kicking off of it from the roof, it'll do that, and I didn't like that. So I designed a little drop down slotted board that can drop into place right here, and then I can just screw it down tight right here, and that locks the wall in, and it doesn't do anything. I got 2 little screw holes here to hold this to the wall, so it's minimal damage to the wall, but it really locks in this so it can't move anymore. And it's just a slotted 2 1x4s that, you know, slide around on each other. It's pretty easy to climb back here and make this adjustment. This pops up there. Okay. And then it just lowers down, and it's on kind of a rope pulley, so it doesn't ever really get too crazy in terms of how hard it is. I'm doing it, see, one-handed here. I'm just letting it down. So it's not hard at all. Okay, I'm just literally holding it with one hand. And so we get down to there. So I have basically a hex bolt here that I can tighten down on this aluminum rail here. And so that holds that in place. So that way, if you're kicking off of it, it'll pin it to this wall section. It's super easy to adjust.
Thank you so much to Paul and Janet for showing us around your home wall, to the Movement Training Company for making this episode possible, and all of you, our viewers, for hitting that subscribe button and making sure to check out all the other tours we have right here at Home Climbing Wall TV. Thanks again, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time.